Hi everyone, my name is Johnny Lawrence and I want to introduce you to something a little bit different.
Yeah.
I want to introduce you to the Strength Shed Sessions. Hello everyone, my name is Johnny Lawrence and welcome to the Strength Shed Sessions. Say that 3 times fast. This is a Strength Shed. This is a place where you can become physically strong and mentally strong. But speaking of physically and mentally strong, I've got Zoe Wright with me. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me over here.
Is today a good day?
Today is a good day. Yeah.
Good. You'll know what that means shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, thanks for coming. Thanks for doing this little interview. I hope you get as much out of it as I do.
Yeah, I'm really honoured to be here.
But tell people about yourself.
So I'm Zoey Wright. I'm a USN sponsored athlete, an overall world champion bodybuilder.
Just a few things.
I'm a local PT in the area of Cornwall, and I also do online coaching. So I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Is there nothing else?
An online blogger.
Yeah, keep going. You got anything else?
That's just me,
Yeah, she does quite a bit.
It's always a very British thing, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
just don't want to you want to hold back what you've done.
I'm hot stuff, man. No, I mean, I know that about you. I've not known you very long, but I know that you're a very modest person. I can tell that just by looking at the social media you put out.
Thank you.
But I mean, obviously you've had some trials, ups and downs, and hopefully we'll get to dig into that today. But I mean, the first question I was going to ask you is, where did you grow up and what was it like?
So I grew up here in Cornwall, in Penryn. Always lived in Cornwall. Really love Cornwall.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think nothing beats Cornwall.
No,
It's a really beautiful place. Yeah, the weather's probably a bit bipolar, but that's for everything.
That's a nice way to put it, I like
It really is bipolar. So I grew up quite sporty.
Yeah.
I wasn't very academic. I really struggled with school. Really struggled with school. I didn't have. There was a few people in my family that weren't very supportive of my problems within school, like not being able to understand, and later finding out when I was in college that I had dyslexia. So I really struggled with school, and it turned into being me just playing up, being suspended from school.
Yeah.
And the only real outlook I had, and the only thing that kind of made me shine within school was I was always like the sporty one.
Okay.
So I've always been involved with sport, from long distance running, sprinting, athletics, then going into football.
Really?
Yes,
Right.
I played football for a bit. I really loved football. I loved being outdoors.
Yeah.
Being in Cornwall.
Yeah.
I really loved being outdoors, and one of the things that I always said when I played football was, why did anyone go to the gym? Why would you be stuck inside looking at yourself in the mirror?
That's such a trait. That is such a trait of all trainers. Like, I hated it at first, and then I didn't.
And then I ruptured my ACL ligament, and
Okay.
I needed 2 surgeries. But before I had my surgery, I had to go for like prehab, exercising and getting my muscles strong. And I was like, oh wow, I actually quite like this.
Most people hate rehab, and you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I kind of found my sort of soft spot for training in the gym. And
Well, that goes to my next question actually, because I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, how did you get into fitness business so far away?
yeah, I guess that was kind of how I came about. I mean, I did at college, I did BTEC in sports development and coaching.
Okay.
Because I loved football.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, I don't need gym work.
Was that true, right?
Yeah. And obviously you do realise that you need weight training for every sport you do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's an element of strength and
Absolutely.
obviously fitness as well. But I went on then to doing sports rehabilitation at degree level. After kind of doing my GCSEs again and stuff, and
Not bad for someone who's dyslexic.
yeah,
I had the same experience
really?
actually. I'm dyslexic too.
Oh, it's hard.
Answer me this: why is the word dyslexic so hard to spell?
I don't
What's
know.
that about?
I always Siri it, like everything is a Siri.
Right. So
It
do
really
I.
annoys me when I do it and it puts in a capital letter and I'm like, really?
Yeah, I've got to
People
go
are gonna
back.
know
I
that
can't
I
remember
Siri
how to
that.
spell that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So and then it was it kind of just snowballed from there. And around the same time that I ruptured my ACL ligament, not my actual knee, I started having really bad symptoms of what was inflammatory bowel disease. At the time, I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
And I was a typical 18, 19-year-old.
I'll be all right.
Just starting university, you know, that was stressful in itself as someone who struggles with, you know, academic subjects. I really did feel the pressure of, I guess I was going to be the first person in my family to have a degree. So I was like, I felt that burden on my shoulders as it was.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had my knee, then I started university, and I think it all just triggered off this inflammatory response within my body. I guess
you sort of thought it was nerves, maybe?
Yeah, I guess granted, the inflammatory bowel disease was always there, but it always takes a trigger. They always say that with these conditions, these autoimmune diseases, it's always a trigger that causes these chains of events. And you know, I cracked on for a couple months, like, you know, like trying to hide it. I was going to the gym at the time, so people just assumed that I was losing weight because I was going to the gym.
So what was the thinking behind hiding it? What was that?
It's a taboo subject. No one wants to talk about poo. Like, nobody's like,
right.
as you say now, I'm fine with it now.
Well, you don't lead with it, do you?
No, like, you know, I've got a bowel issue. And I just, I felt ashamed
Really?
of this illness because I didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until I was actually on a college bus home, you know, like breaking up for summer, that I realised when I looked at a poster and it said blood in your stool, bowel cancer, and I just remember ringing the doctors right there, and was just
scary,
like,
isn't it?
have I got cancer? Like, because I never even heard of Crohn's and colitis before.
Oh, I suppose you wouldn't. Would you say 18? Was it?
I was 18, 19, so I never knew it was even a thing.
Oh man.
And it just I went to the doctors, and she was really, really good. I know a lot of people with Crohn's and colitis take a long time to get diagnosed.
Yeah.
She fast-tracked me in for a colonoscopy, which is not a pleasant thing.
Doesn't sound it.
Nice camera up your backside.
Right.
And
dinner first?
Yeah, I know. Just straight up the KY jelly, man. That was done,
goodness.
You know. I was told straight away I had colitis, given some medication, and then, you know, went on my way for 4 weeks, and my health just deteriorated. It just went from, you know, oh, I don't feel too bad, to you need to be in hospital right now because we don't know if you're going to make it.
Not going to make it?
Yeah. My blood work was something else.
Yeah.
I remember a doctor coming around the ward and saying, you are probably the most poorest person I've seen in many years.
Wow, give me goosebumps.
It makes me like, it's really difficult because I used to find it really, really hard talking about that moment. You know, I've gone through like so many surgeries since, and I've, you know, had that life-changing surgery, but it was that moment of being left in a very vulnerable situation where I was powerless over the situation. I just didn't know if I was gonna, you know, make it through the night. You know, my mum was called in, and they basically said, like, she needs her large intestine removed, but we can't risk putting her under the knife because we don't think she'll make it. So it's like a 48-hour window now. If her body pulls
through, you make me cry if you're not careful.
If her body pulls through, then you know, that's a blessing.
Yeah,
you know, my bowel was at the point where it was going to rupture. Basically, it pop inside of me. It was that messy.
I mean, the next question was, what's the hardest thing you've ever been through in your life?
Yeah.
Check.
It was that. Yeah. I mean, the surgeries, like later on down the line, were hard. Yeah. But it was the unknown factor of being thrown this illness. Yeah. And as someone who likes being in control of situations, like my life was turned completely upside down. Because
you did quite a lot of this. Not publicly, but you did it. You documented it on YouTube, and I saw one of the videos where you had a big decision to make, and you didn't know. And I
remember that one.
Talk about it.
Was that the J pouch?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So when I obviously I struggled with my illness to get it under control for 2 years before actually opting to have an ostomy bag, which was my biggest fear.
Maybe explain what that is, because I didn't know.
Yeah, so an ostomy bag is, an ileostomy bag, what I had, a stoma, is they remove my whole large intestine, and they make a small entrance.
First of all, that's massive. Just skate over that. They just took it out.
They just took your large intestine out. Yeah, completely I've got no large intestine whatsoever. I've just got small bowel now. They create an opening in your stomach through your abdominal wall, and they bring your small intestine outside of your skin. Right. So it's like it looks like a little sea anemone. It like moves as well. Really? Yeah, it's like, whoa. Because obviously your digestive tract moves, doesn't it? So I
can only imagine you sit there with your party trick or something like
like, wow, this thing is moving. And you have to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have no rest off this bag. You have a bag stuck to you. And it's, as a 20, I think I was 22, 23 at the time.
I was going to ask you your age, yeah.
That was a big deal.
I suppose that would, not that at that age, you
necessarily
need to think about having a family, but I suppose that's impacted by all of that.
Yeah. So it was, I had a really supportive partner, who was absolute gold, he was amazing, he supported me the whole way. My family, my friends were just like, you've got this, Zoe. And if it wasn't for the support behind me, I really don't know how I was going to get through it.
I'm really speechless, but I'm kind of speechless on this occasion. That was all before your mid-20s. That's quite amazing. How old are you now?
I'm 27, 28 next week. Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's all downhill from 28.
Don't.
Says the 40-year-old.
Getting closer to 30 now. Can't say I'm closer to 25 anymore.
So that's the bit, isn't it? And I guarantee you this: if you're a drinker and you wake up the day after your 30th, instant hangovers start. That's when it starts.
Brilliant! I can't wait.
Yeah, look forward to it. Anything more to add on that? That's huge. I
think that's why I started documenting my journey. Yeah. Because one thing that I found, because I started obviously training and going to the gym around 19 and 20, seriously. Yeah. At the time, all I seen was these pictured perfect people with beautiful bodies, beautiful face, beautiful hair, beautiful makeup.
Does that ties up together with the fitness industry? So you're in it?
So I was just almost a follower of people in the industry. I guess I've got some sort of influence now in the industry. Yeah.
Some sort of influence. Modest.
I don't know how it just happened.
You just picked up 1 or 2 followers along the line. How many followers is it? Is it
55.
55.
Yeah,
say it all of it. 55,000. Not 55. 55,000. Just a few. Just a 1 or 2.
I was just a person who followed, some people in the industry that had influence, and I took inspiration from them. But one thing that I noticed when I had my surgery, or I was going through the process of being ill, was there was no one who could overcome this illness or something similar that I could really look upon. Yeah. And I guess my mindset just completely changed, and I was like, what, I need to help other people out with my experience.
Wow, I totally resonate with that.
I just need to, I need to be a voice for people that may not.
And you are.
Yeah, may not have be suffering in silence. Yeah. And I just took the leap. One of my biggest fears was having this ostomy bag. I had a lot of counselling when I was first diagnosed. I had night terrors. I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming I can't go through this. I at one point I turned to my partner and was like, I'd rather die. And it's horrible saying that because it gave me so much back, but at the same time I find it really hard to talk about.
No, it's okay. Please don't.
No, it's fine.
Don't want to.
But at the same time, it was a very distressing period in my life.
It's very, very.
Which I can now take a lot from, but it was hard going at the time.
Like I say, I don't even know what to add to that really. What would you say to somebody going through that situation?
Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself, because it's not an easy journey. You can have your time to be, in your pity party. Everyone, you need that. You need that. You can't be strong throughout the whole journey. No. You've got to have your highs and you've got to have your lows. But just remember, there's so much more to live for. There's so much more to live for.
Yeah. There is. That's amazing. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Are amazing. The next question seems a bit redundant almost. But I was going to ask. You're like, okay, all right, give me something to do. But it was what problem that you've had to solve or overcome yourself I mean, you may be able to.
Yeah, I guess it's my own mindset.
Yeah.
You can have all the support in the world, but you need to learn how to support yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to...
Taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
As like rude as that might sound, or, you know, I expect you've got to be at the right time to hear that.
Yeah.
But it's true.
You just got to crack on.
Yeah.
You just got to crack on.
So I expect you spent a lot of time, you know, although you had the support of a wonderful partner and family, I suspect there were many times when you were on your own at night, you know, in hospital or various other things.
Yeah.
So
they're the hard moments, because you're alone with your own thoughts then, and you just have to focus on turning this negative situation into something that could be positive. Yeah. And my like sort of turning point was, I want to be a role model for people that may be struggling.
And you are roughly 55,000.
Yeah, and you know what? It actually helped me. Helping other people helps me.
Yeah, well, I think that's why we do this job.
Yeah.
You know, because people, you know, not to demean what you just said, but everybody has something, I suppose, and it's all relative. And you know, something like that is somewhere near the top of the list of painful things. And if you can turn that into a positive, then you're winning, and you managed to do that by the sound of it. So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's awesome.
How is that now? I mean, I read on social media or saw on social media that, you know, you're having a bit of trouble at the moment. Is everything okay? Or?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, just I think the whole lockdown situation, you just, you know, with us, we used to being around people all the time. We used to being in a job.
Our clients think that they need us, but it's the other way around.
Yeah, like we need them as much as they need us. And, you know, like, you know, I miss that whole buzz of going into a fitness class and taking body pump and watching people's expressions on their face. They really push themselves and being along with their journey. Like, I online coach, I love online coaching, but it doesn't beat the real thing in real life as well.
No.
And that day-to-day interaction that you have is a very social job, working in a gym.
It has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, some days you just get your down days, like, I can't.
But you can't have a day where you just can't, I'm just going to stay in bed today. You've got to give that high energy all the time.
But you soon, you know, I've rocked up to classes before and I've been like, I can't be bothered. Like, but then as soon as I start seeing people absolutely busting it, I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah.
You've actually motivated me now. You come here.
At what point do you start paying them? Right? So that's the problem. Don't ever let them know.
Yeah. They're the best workouts though.
Yeah, they are.
The best workouts are the ones you don't want to do.
That is true. Yeah, I've had workouts where I've come in here and, you know, I'm really lucky. I've got my own gym and stuff, you know, so I don't have any excuses a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I come in here really grumpy, feeling sorry for myself, and then I'm like, well, that was the best workout ever. I just deadlifted this. And
it's because the endorphins.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's all there. I love dolphins. I do.
Yeah.
No.
The endorphins.
No, but when you're a dad, you've got to explain your jokes. You see?
Brilliant.
You've got to explain your jokes. Okay, next one was, another one that's, what was the most painful thing that you've ever been through in your life?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's physically and mentally.
Yeah.
I think mentally was accepting that I was going to have this illness the rest of my life.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to say. I expect. At what point did you feel like on that front that hope went away?
In what sense?
So, as in, like, you know, at some point you must have thought, oh, you know, I'll have an operation, it'll all be okay.
Yeah.
But then there must have been this point where you're like, right, like you just said, I have to accept this. This is what it is. You're so brave, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You almost have to say goodbye to that person you once knew,
right, and
welcome in this new person that you have to look at in the mirror. I guess that was the most painful thing, but it was almost a blessing in disguise, because without it I wouldn't be here right now who I am. I guess that answers the question.
No, it does answer the question. No, I mean the questions are very similar, but I suppose as you go through your journey, speaking about it, not literally, you know, it does provoke thoughts, and I mean, I don't know whether you revisit all this very often, and I'm sorry if it's painful.
No, it's nice to revisit sometimes. It's nice to revisit.
You get to see how far you've come, or you get to talk about how far you've come. I mean, your optics of what you're saying, the way your narrative, even, you're saying it in a really positive way. You're saying something really, you know, horrendous, if I'm honest. But you're putting it in a very positive way, and I've got a lot of respect for that. A lot of respect for that. The next question is, what makes you uniquely you?
Oh, I don't know. I guess my lack of bowel.
Maybe. I mean,
that's a
lack
really
of
tough.
bowel.
I actually I had to get a little bit of humour in there.
Yeah, of course.
What makes me uniquely me? I guess my attitude of not giving a fuck anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I know that. Tell me about. There was a post. It's related to this. There was a post that you or an upload you did on YouTube where somebody said something to you in comments. And
I get a lot of that.
Yeah, it was one of the ones you filmed. You were wound up, angry, and rightly so, because it made me angry. I to this day I will never understand why people feel it's okay to say the things they do online. The trolls, whatever they're called. I was calling them elves for a while. My son's like, dude, they're trolls. I'm like, got it. Cheers, 6-year-old. Yeah, but I mean, what was all that about?
I guess when you put yourself in the spotlight and you open yourself up and make yourself vulnerable to the world of social media, you get all kinds of people coming through onto your platforms.
Makes me so angry.
So I guess any attention is good attention.
That is a way of looking
one
at it.
way to say it.
Yeah.
But it has been hard. I remember the first time I ever experienced online bullying. You might have seen my Instagram post about it, but I was on a train back from London after being invited to
that's what I'm talking about.
a gastro nurses convention. There was doctors, there's consultants there. Like, it was a really big deal. Like, I was talking in front of these like people that were like doctors and stuff.
There's so many things there. So you were public speaking, and you were talking about your condition. Right.
And just like my journey, I guess, and just one thing that I wanted to point out to them and the companies that make up these leaflets for stoma patients was, where's the young people at? Because when I was first introduced to having my stoma, it was like very limited, and the the taboo subject of having sex was like this big.
Okay.
Like a paragraph that big.
I mean, it's not important.
I mean, it's I'm quite with it, and it was like, so my stoma nurse was like, what's crack? But, a lot of people would just be like, they'll probably close themselves in and be like, oh God, I can't do this, can't do that. And, even the word exercise was just like an absolute no-go with them leaflets,
Did they literally tell you not to exercise?
So when my surgeon first met me, he didn't know really who I was or what I did as a background, so he kind of just saw me as any patient coming through. And he just said, like, you're never going to be able to lift free weights again. It's all going to be resistant machines. It's going to be cardio machines.
See, to most people, that is like, okay, but to you, that's...
And I was like, I've got rid of this diseased colon now, but I want to continue training. And I went against his advice.
He's not watching, is he?
Sorry, Mr. May. I hope you're not watching this. And he's fine now.
I'm sure he knows by now. He's not even achieved. Keep playing.
And I took all the right precautions. I wore hernia support wear, which was fitted by my stoma nurses.
What is that?
So there's different companies, but it's basically essentially support wear that's fit. It's like almost like a waist trainer, but it keeps everything like tight.
Right.
And it took me a couple of goes to get the right like support wear, because it will, and some of them are just goddamn uncomfortable. But I found my support wear, and I did sports rehab at degree level, so I kind of knew what I was doing in the sense of rehabbing.
It's always hard to apply to yourself, isn't it? Things
yes.
Like that. It's always hard, because you're like, now I'll be alright. It's like
I just started off really, really like really slowly. And just gingerly went into it, and since then I've had 3 more abdominal surgeries on top of my first one. My surgeon's done 3 out of the 4 of them. One was an emergency from a runner beam, but that's a completely different story.
I want to hear that story. Not now, but I do want to hear it.
Yeah, that's a funny story. And when I saw him last year, when he did when he made my J pouch, which enabled me to live my life without an ostomy bag anymore. He was pretty sound, and in knowing what I was, he knew what I was doing, and he's always said to me, like, I know what you're doing. That's your profession. Just word of advice: just take it easy, listen to your body.
So there's the ostomy bag and the J pouch? There's a difference.
Yeah. So obviously I had a stoma, so that was outside of my skin.
Yeah.
I had a bag attached to it. But with the J pouch, what they do is they pop all your intestines back in, so they pop that stoma back in, and they make a J shape.
So it's the pop. I think it's like the sewing or something.
Yeah. I don't know the technical terms, Haven't done that yet, you know. They pop it back inside, and they make like a loop, almost like a little pouch out of your small intestine.
Wow.
So let's just say you've got your small intestine, and then at the end they loop it around and then just connect it back to the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Well, they can do
really cool what they can do.
That is cool.
Yeah, like quite hefty surgery.
Yeah. What's the recovery on that?
I remember waking up. I felt very naive to this. I remember waking up after the creation of the J pouch, and obviously they have to go really deep into your pelvis. They did a lot of work inside, and I woke up and was like, I feel like I've been punched, like 1,000 times over. You know, I couldn't.
Mike Tyson.
Physically could not move. And my surgeon said one of the things that is a sort of negative for me is because I've got such a strong core.
You really noticed it.
I could really feel it, and it was pain like nothing else. Like I remember waking up and a couple of days after surgery and thinking, why the hell did I do this to myself? I was in perfectly good nick with my stoma. Why the hell have I chosen to go down this route? Because, you know, I walked into surgery, my first ever surgery, or any type of surgery, you go in because you got pain. Yeah. But this was an elective surgery. Yeah. And I was like, why have I elected to have pain?
Because I remember I spoke to you.
Yeah.
Me and Johnny spoke to you. That's revealing, isn't it? No, I spoke to you a little while ago. And you said that you actually, you grew to love it, didn't you? Yeah.
I had, so the plan of action was, I agreed to have my first surgery, to have my large intestine removed, almost under the condition that I could go and straight have my J pouch surgery straight away, because I just didn't want to live with I didn't want to live with a stoma. I was thinking,
everyone's got not an ego, but everyone's everyone wants to feel a certain way, live a certain way, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was I didn't want to when I had the surgery, it took me probably about a week and a half before I could even look at it. When I first had it, I wanted to wear gloves when I was dealing with it, and it wasn't until one of my stomach said, "Come on, Zoe, get out of the bed. Come on, we're doing this now." And I was like, "Okay." She literally took control and owned my ass.
Sorry.
She literally did. I was like, never forget it, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I just needed some tough love.
Are we getting to the point where too many people are owning your ass these days?
A lot of people see it. And
oh man.
Yeah, it just. Oh, where was I when I was saying it? I can't remember what I was saying.
I was saying that you used to.
Yeah, I grew to appreciate it. I remember going to my follow-up surgery 6 weeks post surgery and saying to my surgeon, "So when can we go for my J pouch? When can we schedule it in?" And he was like, "Absolutely not. We're not going anywhere near you for another 12 months." And I just remember walking out feeling really devastated.
Yeah, 12 months.
And I was like, I've got to wait 12 months. And this was in 2014.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like, what? That's like forever.
And it was, and it was just that at that moment, I started to really appreciate it, because I was like, you know what? I went away to London for a weekend and was like, wow, I don't have to look where the nearest toilet is. I'm not in pain. I can go on a tube and not have to worry about the nearest toilet. Yeah. Just little things started happening.
I just started can't even imagine that. Just being on the tube, I mean, that in itself would be anxiety-inducing, and then it's like a vicious circle, I suspect.
Yeah.
Poor you.
I'm very honest about it, but before I had my large intestine removed, it would be a simple car journey. I'd be driving home from work in Truro, and I would soil myself. Oh, man. I mean, 21 years old.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, so
really hard.
that was the point.
He's amazing, right? How many people would admit that on camera? That's amazing.
It's done now.
No way, yeah, it's out there. That's going to be the soundbite I use, by the way. No, you are just, that's
yeah, it's hard.
I'm going to have a little minute to myself after this. Anything more to add to that?
Yeah, I decided to put the surgery off and go on stage in a tiny bikini.
Well, I mean, it does seem like the next evolution of it, really, doesn't it? I mean,
It was something that, I don't do anything by halves.
No, I get that. Get that vibe from you. It's very clear, loud and clear.
I had a really supportive partner at the time, and he just was like, you got to do what you got to do, and I will support you 100%. And
what an amazing guy.
Yeah, freaking awesome.
What an amazing
you know,
guy.
We're not together anymore, but we're still really good friends. And
That's nice.
it's, you know, like he's always going to have a massive part in my story.
Yeah.
But he was there for me through some really hard times, and he was always like, "Go on, you can do this." You know, when I felt like I couldn't do it and I was afraid of stepping on stage and what could go wrong on stage, if my bag fell off, or, you know, I just didn't, and I also didn't want to look stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think that's I mean, it's one thing I'd imagine to have this pouch that, you know, or sorry, the bag that people can see. But, you know, I suppose most of the time you're wearing a t-shirt or something like that.
You don't see
it, and you can sort of like get your head around it. But when you're up there exposed, I mean, that's bravery. That really is. That's,
but it was the most exhilarating feeling in the world.
I mean, you did okay up there as well, didn't you? I suppose.
Yeah, I did alright actually.
No,
that was my first show, so it was like I was an amateur then.
But even down the long line, I mean, I think, did you not win something?
Oh yeah, just a small overall title.
Overall, really? So that's like everyone, yeah? I mean,
it was crazy. Like I didn't ever set out to do that, but it was like when I got the first taste of, you know, placing in a show. Couldn't make it to the Worlds that year because I had emergency surgery due to a blockage from a run of bean. Just a slight problem.
You're going to get, whoever sees this, they're going to look, tell me about this run of bean.
Oh God,
you've stitched yourself up for a run of bean.
Run of bean, man. I tell you something, it's the bane of my life. And it took me, you know, from 2015 up to 2017 to secure this overall world title. I mean, in 2016 they got the tease of a second overall, and I was like, that ain't good enough. So I went full out and was like, you know what, let's just change the way that people look at people in the industry and just add some spice to it, add some flavour, add something that's slightly different to the cards, and
you certainly accomplished that. I mean, I'm doing my own men's physique, so hopefully down the line, and that drew my interest to all the different sites that are involved in that. And there you are, popping up everywhere.
No way.
It's amazing. It's great. They're doing a voting thing at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah,
was it Pure?
Purely. So that's who I'm. That's who I was an overall world title with. Purely, an awesome federation. Yeah. Incredible federation. Like I still, even though I don't compete now, I still judge shows. I'm still involved with the shows. I coach.
You can see there's a really good relationship.
Oh, like you know, they've helped my career so much.
Great.
You know, as a fitness modelling federation, you know, I wouldn't say they took a risk with me because obviously what I had, but they accepted me for who I was.
They supported you.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I support them. Yeah. They are really, it's almost like a family.
Yeah. It's nice. Emotional again?
Yeah, I love them. Stuart's going to be watching us like, for God's sake, so you're crying again?
That's nearly twice. I nearly got you twice now, sorry.
Don't ruin my makeup, alright?
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. Just every chance I'd cry with you, it'd be useless. like.
Let's see what's both cry.
Yeah. It's like, did you watch that show where Johnny and Zoe were just crying? I was like, yeah.
The best people cry, okay?
Of course, yeah.
You know,
it's empathy, isn't it? You know. It's empathy.
Yeah. I have got better at it though, I think. I have got better. Well, like over the years I feel like I've taken control over my emotional outbursts.
I wouldn't be surprised if you perhaps run out of tears. I'm not sure.
Probably,
I wouldn't surprise me.
Done crying now.
What's the one thing that people always ask you for help with?
Well, the one thing.
Yeah, you know, you're at a party and everyone, you know, for me, for example, I said it in another interview.
Okay, yeah.
What's the best exercise for your abs? I mean, that's about as deep as it gets for me.
Yeah.
Although I do get a lot of mindset questions these days.
I guess, like you're saying, a mindset is a question that people ask. You know, what do you do on bad days?
Yeah.
You know, how do you overcome everything?
What's the answer?
You just have to really look inwards. You have to look inwards. You have to really face yourself. Yes, and I feel like, you know, even in this last year, I've had a really tough time over the last couple of months, and it's taught me so many life lessons that you just have to sit yourself in front of the mirror and take a real deep look at yourself.
Have a word with yourself.
Yeah, you have to really pick yourself apart, which isn't a pleasant thing to do.
No.
And I think that's one of the biggest questions that I get asked is, you know, how do you overcome what you've been through? And it's just, you have to go inwards. You have to almost, just without sounding too spiritual, but you have to be at one with yourself. You have to be at peace with yourself.
Yoga away.
I don't yoga.
Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda.
Yoda. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean,
like yoga. No. I definitely don't do yoga. No, you've seen my lack of stretching online.
Well, I expect the positions aren't ideal either at times. Yeah, I mean, that's a great answer, going inwards. I mean, that's something that everyone needs to do more of. I think everybody looks at public figures and says, you know, what's the answer? And they'll sell them the answer, but it's not the answer.
You have to find it for yourself.
You do.
And it's an ongoing process. You're never going to be, how do I say it? You're never going to truly know yourself because you're always evolving.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've learned. You just have to continuously become a 180 with yourself at whatever stage in life you are, like where you are in life.
I love that. Success is a moving target.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Just
you can't stay in one position. You can't stay in a fixed mindset. It's got to be a growth mindset.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Well, I should be in therapy. I love it. What are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned in your life? I mean, that sounds like one of them.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. I think it's one of the biggest ones, especially in this generation, with social media and magazines and mainstream media and all that jazz, is that beauty really is only skin deep. It doesn't matter what you look like. It really is truly about who you are as a person and how you treat people. And that is I think that's the biggest lesson that I've learned from my stoma. That your body can be taken advantage of, and you need to really appreciate it, and not how do I say it? Not take advantage of it, and just be happy with what you've got.
Respect it.
Yeah, respect your body, in whatever form it is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And that's something I always tell my clients.
And that's important because although we work in an industry where, let's face it, majority of the time people come to us and they believe they're overweight and they believe it's a problem, what we're here to do is to first of all teach them to accept themselves.
Yeah,
and
that's the
once they do that,
starting point.
Then we can help you. Because I say a lot to my clients, starting from a position of I hate myself, looking in the mirror and saying I hate myself, that's not a good place to start.
Yeah.
When you can look in the mirror and say I love myself and I love myself enough to help myself, then you're winning.
That's that's
when you're winning.
That was that. I love that.
I had to get one in. Look at you.
That was
yoga in the life. I had to go after it. It's like, come on.
That's brilliant.
No, but yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, you are a poster girl for that in my eyes. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I asked you to do this, because I want everyone to hear it, because it's ridiculous. It's like how someone can go
I'm really honoured that you want me on your show.
It's not about honour, You haven't seen what I'm going to say yet.
Edit in, it's going to be chopped and changed.
Yeah, I'm going to be putting all sorts of memes in, all sorts of stuff. I've got another couple of questions, but what advice would you give yourself 10 years ago, 5 years ago? I know you're not, 10 years ago for me is 30, 10 years ago probably 10 or something.
Wow. I guess it's like I would for anyone, be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. That's pretty much my sort of staple advice to anyone.
I think
be kinder to yourself.
I mean, I bet
it's very simple.
Things that you thought 10 years ago were a big deal, you're like, really?
Yeah.
So much has happened since then.
Yeah. So 10 years ago I was 17 and clueless to what was going to be happening to my life.
Yeah. Wow, you didn't know anything, did you?
No.
As in, you didn't know any of this was going to happen?
No, didn't know.
Which just shows you anything could come out of anywhere, doesn't it? At any time.
Yeah. Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Live your life to the best that you can in that present moment. Don't dwell on yesterday.
Do you do it?
What, live in the present day? Yeah, I try to.
Yeah.
We have days.
It's impossible.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You do have days where you dwell on things. We're human.
Yeah.
But you just have to keep reminding yourself that, be present.
Yeah, look around. I say to my kids all the time when they start moaning, "Oh, there's no Wi-Fi." I'm like, "You got to be joking."
Yeah, I love man.
But exactly. It's You're lucky if you got on there by Wednesday and it's Sunday.
Someone rings the phone. You're like, "Wow, Nan, why are you calling?"
The anger. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's wonderful advice.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to close up with the last question.
Yeah.
What is next for you?
So going on from what you were saying just a minute ago about, what advice do you get asked? And, it's been one of them things that I've been asked over the years. And the training and nutrition side is always the easiest part. It's the mindset that's the hardest thing to conquer and overcome.
It underpins the both, doesn't it?
Yeah, and self-belief. And that's, I've recently started a project that, I don't know when this is coming out, but it will be starting in August. And I guess it's a new brand called Empowered Woman. And it's focusing on all elements and all aspects that come with everything health and fitness. And, not just focusing on the result. We're focused on the self-belief system. Results are important.
They're a motivator.
They are.
They're not the end.
But they're not the sort of foundation level. No. We should never strive for the result. We should strive about learning about ourselves along the journey. And this is why I've come about to launch this Empowered Woman, because I want to be able to give the tools to women to unlock their own potential and become the best versions of themselves, not just physically, but more so mentally, because
have the tools to help themselves. That's amazing.
And they can go on and
it's called
Empowered Women.
Empowered Women.
Yeah, so that will be coming out very soon.
Great.
The ClickFunnels should be coming up on Friday, and we're doing like a free 7 days of empowerment challenge to start off with.
Nice.
Daily workouts. We've got free training, nutrition, and mindset journals being thrown in there as well.
Wow.
So it's been a lot of work, guys. I've been really busy in lockdown, but I'm really, really excited. This is something that I'm really passionate about, and just reaching women from all over the world, all walks of life, and just to show them that, you can be more if you put your mindset in the right place and stop doubting yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I find that if people don't ask themselves the fundamental question in life, what do you want?
Yeah.
And once you know what you want, you know what to aim for.
Yeah.
But people don't ask that, and they certainly don't believe they can get there.
It's changing the answer as well to that question, because a lot of people say,
not gonna lie, camera overheated. Had to shut that down for a minute. It's all right. We just had a little chat. She told me about the runner bean. It's all good. Right, where were we?
I think we were talking about the question that we get asked, or the question we asked.
And I said, "What did you want? What do you want?"
What do you want?
Yeah.
And the common answer is, "Well, I want to look like this, or I want to perform like this."
Yeah.
But it's never, "I want to be happy."
Yeah.
And
which underpins everything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you only change something because you're not happy.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to do. Give it to people.
Yeah, I really want to just package it up and send it their way.
I'm excited for you. You're the right person for the job.
Thank you.
And you're amazing.
Thank you.
You're really amazing. And hopefully this and other things that you're doing will inspire as many people as they can. And you'll get what you want, which is to make people happy.
Yeah.
By the sound of it.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Good.
That's my end goal. Just to want everyone to be happy.
Unicorns, rainbows.
Yeah, that's all I
like
want.
That.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
My wife would love that. She loves rainbows and unicorns.
I just feel like everyone's put on this planet for a purpose, and I'm gonna turning a shit situation into something positive, and reaching out to people and giving that helping hand where people need it.
Support.
Yeah.
Guidance.
Yeah.
Motivation.
All of it. Wrap it up.
Winning. Thank you very much for coming out. Shake your hand, but it's frowned upon these days.
We'll just do a fist bump from afar.
Join us. No, thank you very much for coming today. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for your time, and good luck.
Cheers.
I'd like to thank Zoe Wright for her time today and for being so open and honest about her life. She is an incredible person who's been through a heck of a lot, and I really hope that some people that watch this that may be going through similar things or the same thing will get a lot out of that, because what a strong person, what a great outlook on life she has. I also love her advice on looking inwards and finding answers within yourself, and always to continue to evolve in life. Great advice, really, really good advice. So thank you again, Zoe, for your time today. I really appreciate it. I want to get everyone to subscribe, so hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to tune in next week for another episode of the Strength Shed Sessions.